Can you all see now?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah. So good morning, children. So let us start with the first problem. That is okay. But yesterday I was telling you all that let us go directly with the essay questions. But just for the practice purpose, let us just see one or two short questions also. Okay. What is all this? Now, I hope everyone is aware of how the statement has to be prepared, right? So let's see the second problem. Okay, because first, if you are doing a problem based upon the balance as per the cash book, then it becomes very, very comfortable for you all to understand the problem based upon the passbook. Okay, so now let's see the second question, that is prepare a bank reconciliation statement as on 31st of December 2006 from the following information. Okay, and here balance as per cash book has been provided. So what we need to do first, so let us go and create an Excel sheet. I'm just going to do one more new document here. So in this, write down the heading as it takes little time. Okay, for the first one, reconciliation statement as on, right? So here it's being given as on. So let us have both the things on the screen. Now, so here as on, it is 31st of December 2006 is the year for which we are preparing, and the first column is for the particulars, followed by an amount column, that is an inner column, followed by another body. So here now write down balance as per cash book. So for every problem, okay, uh, you have to take a rough cash book as well as a rough passbook. Okay, so here I'm going to have a cash book, and here in the cash book this is to be called as receipts, and here it is to be called as payments, just for the understanding purpose, right? Here down below, let us take it as okay, cash book, receipt side, payment side. There is a debit and a credit, and followed by the passbook here, because as the book which we are starting with is the cash book, so the cash book will be always on to the top, followed by here it is to be called as withdrawals, then here it is to be called as deposits, right? Is it fine with all this working notes? So this is the basic working notes which is always required first to be created. So here add followed by less. Now let's see the first transaction. Now this is not given in the point wise, it's just in a paragraph, but here you need to divide each and every sentence, okay? And accordingly you have to give the treatment in the bank reconciliation statement. So already we posted the balance as per the cash book is 71,730. So whenever you look into a given balance, first you have to see whether it is a favorable or an unfavorable. Okay, so according to this, actually the balance whatever is being provided over here is the favorable balance. That means this much amount is available in our bank account, that is 71,730. Okay, now followed by what it says here, checks issued up to 31st of December 2006. Now one more important point here to be noted is, now whenever you are preparing a BRS as on a particular date, any entry which is being recorded in both the books, that is in the cash book as well as in the pass book, will not affect the bank reconciliation statement. But wherein, as on a particular date, whenever you're looking into a given reason, and if it is been recorded in one of the book and not been recorded in the other book, then only the difference, of the balances which arises. So as here you can see the checks have been issued up to, that means as on 31st of December 2006, the checks are being issued, but it has not been presented for the payment in the bank. So what is the amount of the check here? The amount of the check is 1520. So what is going to happen? 1520 has already been shown as a payment, right? But it is still not been sent. Presented in the bank. Presented in the bank in the sense what it is not been withdrawn from the bank. So what is going to happen? Because here it is what a favorable balance. So 71,730 is the amount what is available in the bank. So let us also assume that 71,730 is also there as a deposit in the bank. So out of this, when you are disclosing a payment here, because of which the balance in the cash book is decreased. Okay, so the balance in the cash book is been decreased, whereas because it is still not been presented before this 31st of December 2006, the passbook balance is showing more. So cash book is less and the passbook is more. So what you're going to do, because the other book is showing more balance, we need to add it over here. So what I'm going to do here now, so I'm writing it as checks issued but not presented, presented for payment. That means it is still not been presented for payment in the bank, and the amount of the check over here is 1520. Okay, now coming to the second one, what it says, checks deposited with the bank, with the bank for collection. So usually what we do, whenever you are receiving a check, that check will be deposited into the bank and the bank has to collect the money on the check, towards the check, right? And here the check is being deposited for the collection, that is on 31st of December 2006. So as on 31st of December 2006, already we deposited the check in the bank, and the amount of the check over here is 24,560, but out of which checks for rupees 5,490 have been released and credited by the bank. So please try to remember this amount. Here the amount of the check is 24,560, which has been deposited in the bank, but out of which only 5,490 has been credited by the bank. So now when I'm removing this, because we have already done with the first one. Now coming to the second one. So here 24,560 checks have been deposited with the bank, but out of which the bank has credited only 5,490. So if you see the amount on either side, that is on the receipt side as well as on to the deposit side, the receipt side amount is more than the deposit side amount in the passbook. So therefore, now you need to find out how much is the difference between both the balances. So to know what is the difference between both the balances, that is 24,560 minus 5,490. The difference over here is 19,070 rupees. That means in the cash book, the balance is more, whereas in the passbook, the balance is less. I'm repeating again. In the cash book, the balance is more because whenever, suppose let us assume that this much amount is also not been credited. So what happens here? The cash book is more and the passbook is less. So because the passbook is less, here you need to minus. But okay, when you are deducting it, okay, how much you're going to deduct? You will deduct 24,560. But in this problem, what is happening? Okay, even though you have shown it on the receipt side 24,560, but out of which the bank has given a credit, okay, up to 5,490. That means at least, okay, a part of the amount is being credited in the passbook. So therefore, what is going to happen? You're just going to consider only the difference amount. So what is the difference amount here? 19,070 rupees. That means the cash book is more by 19,070 and the passbook is, so therefore, we need to deduct it here. So checks deposited but not credited, but not credited. So how much has not been credited here in the passbook? 19,070 rupees not been credited. Okay. Now next coming to the other transaction, right? So what it says here, checks for collection deposited on 31st of December 2006 but cleared subsequently in January, that is 9,540. So here what you should understand is, now there is not much difference between the second one and the third one. In the second one also the checks have been deposited not credited, but here only the partial amount has been credited. But in this, checks deposited but nothing has been credited before 31st of December 2006. So once again, I'm going to read the transaction. So checks for collection deposited. That means the bank has to collect the money towards the checks. So for the same, it is being deposited in the bank on 31st of December 2006. But they have been cleared in the month of January. That means after 31st of December, it has been credited in the passbook. And here the amount of the check is 9,540. So 9540. So what is going to happen now? In the cash book, okay, we have already mentioned 9,540 before 31st of December. It's already recorded in the cash book. But whereas it has been credited in the past the next month. But as on this particular date, there is no record for such in the passbook. So again, what is going to happen? The cash book is showing more and the passbook is showing less. So therefore, again we need to minus. So checks deposited but not credited, and the amount of the check over here is 9,540. Okay. Now coming to the next one here, incidental charges debited. So now you should understand what is the meaning of a debit and what is the meaning of a credit, right? So here, incidental charges debited by bank. So when they say by bank, that means it is being recorded first in the passbook, right? So any debit given in the passbook usually decreases the balance in the passbook. But what it says here, not entered in the cash book, and the amount over here is 10 rupees. So here in the bank, they have debited the passbook, okay, with the 10 rupees towards the incidental charges. So incidental charges in the sense what the bank charges. But the same thing here has not been recorded in the cash book. So very clearly they said it is not recorded in the cash book. So what is going to happen here? Because there is a debit in the passbook, the balance in the bank is decreased. So the passbook is less, whereas the cash book is more. So because the passbook is less, okay, we need to minus. So bank charges, okay, debited the passbook, and the amount of the bank charges over here is 10. That's all. I think apart from this, there's nothing else. So we need to find out what is the balance as per the passbook. So let us do the summation. Here this needed to be added. So 73,000, 250 is the total. And here the amount of the total is 28,000. Sorry, 28,000. It is 620. Now the difference between these two is going to be the balance as per, or you can also mention it as bank balance. Instead of simply balance, here also you can put it as bank balance. Okay, now let's find out the difference. That is 73,000. Sorry, 73,000. It is 250 minus. It is 28,620. Therefore, the difference is 44,630. So let's see whether we got the same thing or not. 44,630, which is the balance as per the passbook, and this is how it has to be mentioned. Is it clear?
Ma'am, can you show
Yes,
that
ma'am.
table?
You want? Yeah, I will show that. Yeah. So this is one total of additions. This is one total for the deductions. So to the given balance, add all whatever you're supposed to add, and from this minus the total of the deductions, then the difference is to be called as bank balance as per the passbook. So see, here you're just going to follow the simple logic, that is just add or less will be based upon which book is more and which book is less. So as you are finding out the passbook, if the passbook is showing more, you add it. If the passbook is showing less, you minus it. That's all. Suppose if you are following the in a passbook and you are trying to find out the cash book, okay, and in that case, if the cash book is showing more, add. If the cash book is showing less, you just minus. So the opposite book, I say always opposite book, because we are starting with the cash book and the opposite book is the passbook. If the passbook is more, add. If the passbook is less, minus. That's it. Even you don't have to remember it as lower to the higher, add, and higher to the lower, less. But only the thing is, you just have to know, because unless and until this analysis has not been learned by you all, because it so happens, when you even go for your placements, definitely they will ask you questions based upon the bank reconciliation statement. And in that case, if you are unable to answer, then you may not be selected, because it is all based upon the logical reasoning, because you should have the knowledge to analyze the transactions, and you should also understand where it is being affected and because of which what is going to happen with the balance. So all these things have to be learned. You cannot by heart such things.
Ma'am, I
Yes,
have one doubt now.
yeah,
Ma'am,
yes.
when we are showing the bank balance as per passbook, then can you explain about where should we add and when should we less the amount?
Yeah,
When we
I'm doing the next problem the same. I'm doing the next problem. So let us go to the first one now. This is the first one, right? So on 31st of December 2006, the passbook of Satish. So Satish is a businessman. Okay, he's the owner of the business. So according to his passbook, okay, shows the credit balance. Now, what do you mean by the credit balance here? So credit means always it is a deposit. Okay, so I'm just going to copy the entire thing in the next sheet, and because let us not waste the time. Okay, so let us remove all this. Now here I'm going to do it as on, the balance as per the passbook. So we need to find what is the balance as per the, right? So here we will be getting the balance as per the cash book. So we are going to save time for typing. Okay, so again, it is the same date, that is 31st of December 2006. So I need not change the heading also. So the heading is going to be bank reconciliation statement as on 31st of December 2006. Now here we are going to start with the, with the
Passbook.
passbook, and we are going to find out with the, okay, what I will do is I will try to, let us put it here. Done? cash book. So we are going to start with the passbook to find out the cash book, right?
Cash.
Now, what is the balance here? 3,357 is the balance, right? It is a credit balance. So when they say it is a credit balance, so credit means what here? It is a deposit.
Increase in
So the
the
deposit is 3,357. So this is a bank balance as per the passbook, credit balance. So credit means it is always a favorable balance. So let's start with the first one. The checks, the, okay, checks and drafts were sent to the bank but not collected and credited. Okay, checks and drafts. Checks and drafts in the sense what, have you heard about the demand drafts? Have you heard about the demand draft, DD?
Yes.
Okay.
yes, ma'am.
So whenever we take a, we have, taken a demand draft from the bank, the draft has to be again deposited in your account so that the bank will collect the money on behalf of the drafts, right? That means you're purchasing from the bank by depositing a certain amount with the banker, right? So the checks and the drafts were sent to the bank but not collected and credited. The checks and drafts were sent to the bank but not collected and credited, amounted to 790. Amount to 790. Okay. So what is the meaning of it now?
Cash
Checks and
book is
drafts
more.
were, yeah, so the amount over
Cash
here
book
is
is more. Cash
790.
book is
So
less.
in the cash book, 790 we have already recorded because it has been deposited with the bank. So because of which, what is going to happen? The cash book is more and the passbook is less. No, you
Less.
are going
Less.
as per the passbook. We are going as per the passbook. So if it is
Cash
going to
book.
be, according to the
Add.
passbook. So to find out the cash book, what is going to happen here? To find out the cash book, because the cash book is more, we need to
Less.
add.
Yes,
Just now I
ma'am.
told you, no, you just have to see
It's less
from which
too
book
high. So we have to add.
you just have to first see from which book you are following. So I am following the passbook now. I need to find out the cash book balance. So the first transaction is already been recorded in the cash book. So because of which the balance at the in the cash book is more. Okay, the cash book is more, the passbook is less. Okay, so because this book is showing more, we need to add. Now you can see, now this is the information of the previous problem, isn't it? So what I'm going to do now, I don't require this here, so I'm just keeping it aside. Okay, remove it from there. So what is it we need to add? We have to add this because check deposited but not credited, and the amount over here. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So let it be checks or let it be drafts. If you want, you can also include the term as checks and drafts deposited but not credited in the passbook. Okay, or whatever the transaction here it is completely been mentioned, you can write the same to avoid the confusion. Okay, and the next one, and he says, and checks drawn. So what is the meaning of drawn here?
Withdrawal.
Withdrawal. So withdrawal means unless and until we issue, we cannot withdraw, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, so the other name for the drawn is issued. Okay, so checks drawn means checks issued. So checks issued, that means drawn for ₹650 were not presented for the payment till 31st of January, that is next year. But we are doing as on which date? 31st of December 2006. So till next month the checks have not for the payment, and here the amount of the checks issued is 650. So whenever the checks are being issued, first it will be shown in the cash book. Okay,
Payment side.
so yeah, payment sides. So because of which, what is going to happen? The cash book is less. The cash
Yes,
book is
passbook is more.
less. Passbook is more. So our opposite book is less. So because our opposite book is less, what we are going to do? We are going to
Less.
less.
Less. Less.
So how much is the amount here? 650. That's it. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
right? Now let's go to the next one. So we have done with the two reasons or differences. Next, bank has paid. Bank has paid insurance premium amounting to rupees 1000, but it has not been entered in the cash book. So when bank is paying, first the entry will be given in the
Passbook.
passbook. So when the bank pays,
Passbook.
on which side of the passbook it will be recorded?
Withdrawal.
Withdrawal.
Withdrawals. So because of this transaction or entry, what is the effect on the balance?
Passbook is
Decrease.
getting less.
Passbook is
Decreases.
less. So passbook
Passbook
is
is less.
less and the cash book is
More.
High.
high. So what are you going to do?
Add.
Add.
Add. So here you can mention it as insurance premium paid by bank. And the amount paid over here is 1000. Right? Now coming to the next. And checks rupees 500 deposited. Again, okay? And the check rupees 500 entered in passbook. Entered in the sense what? Not credited in the passbook. So whenever the check's deposited, the first entry will be given in the
Passbook.
cash book.
Cashbook.
So because of this,
Ma'am,
what is going
payment
to?
side now, ma'am.
It's deposited. It's deposited. Check rupees
Presented for
500
payment.
deposited, he said. Deposited but not entered in the passbook. So when you deposit, where do you write? You write it on the receipt side of the cash book. Bank to cash, the 3-column cash book. Still not clear? Okay. So when the check is being deposited in the bank, the cash book balance is more and the passbook balance is less, right? So as you are trying to find out the cash book here, okay, so we need to add. So again,
Add.
500 to be added. Okay. And finally here, the bank has charged rupees 3 as commission. So whenever the bank is charging a commission, that is the bank charges, where it records first?
Passbook.
Withdrawal in the passbook. So because of this, what is going to happen? The passbook is less and the cash book is more.
High.
Passbook is
More.
less and the cash book is more. So again, what you're going to do? You're going to
Add.
add. So now you have seen the opposite effect of the passbook balance as well as the cash book balance, right? So that's all. So what is asking here? Show the balance as shown by the cash book. So let us summarize this. So here the total is 2293 when it is to be deducted accordingly. So 3357 plus 2293. The total over here is 5650 minus, okay, deductions are 650. Therefore, the balance as per the cash book is 5000. So let's see we got it or not. Yeah. So balance as per the cash book is 5000. Is it clear?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
Ma'am, can you please explain that when checks drawn for 650 were not presented for payment till 31st January? Yes, ma'am, that one.
Yeah. Checks drawn in the sense what issued, right? The meaning of
Yes,
drawing
ma'am.
a check is issuing a check. So when the checks have been issued, what happens here? First, we write it on the payments side of the cash book. Okay. So when you're writing this on the payments side of the cash book, the
Yes, ma'am.
cash book balance is decreasing.
I understood, ma'am, but I didn't know that date, ma'am, 31st January. So we are making it till 31st December, no?
Yeah, so as on this particular date, that is as on 31st of December, there is no withdrawal made in the passbook. They have not presented this for the payment. So because of which, what is going to happen now? They have withdrawn it in the next month, not in the same month. So as again I'm repeating, any transaction, okay, suppose if here it is being issued and here it is being withdrawn, is there any difference in both the books balances?
No.
No. So when the transaction is being recorded in both the books, there will not be any difference in the balances in either in the cash book or in the passbook. Both the balances will show the same. But if it is recorded in one book, but if it is not been recorded in the other book, then only the difference arises. Okay, so that is the reason why we need to prepare a bank reconciliation statement. So here
Yes.
we have issued the check on 31st of December. Assume it to be like that, okay? We have issued it on 31st of December. So it is being presented in the next month, that is as on
On
31st of
31st of
Jan. We have
January.
withdrawn it on 31st
Yes.
of Jan. So after a month, they are
So it
presenting it
means,
for the payment. So till that
okay,
time, what is going to
got it.
happen? There is no record for this in the passbook. So
Hmm.
because of which the differences are rising. Is it
Okay, ma'am.
clear now?
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Right. So we have done with the first two short questions. Okay. So now I'm going to the, I think essay first problem is based upon the overdraft, I guess. Uh, errors వచ్చేసి. Okay, let's do the second one because in the first problem we have the errors. So I don't want to do a problem based upon the errors now because I have still not explained you all, right? So let's start with the second essay problem. So here we have on 30th of June. Okay, that means a BRS has to be prepared as on 30th of June 2005. The bank column of the cash book. Now you must have understood what exactly means by the bank column of the cash book. So here he is talking about the three column cash book, and according to the three column cash book, the bank column, okay, whatever the balance which has been shown according to this bank column is 4,280. So it's nothing but bank balance as per the cash book. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so it's talking about bank balance as per the cash book, which is 4,280. So let's go to the this problem now. Make copy it because we are doing a problem based upon the bank balance as per the cash book. Let me also bring this both the books side by side. So what is the balance here? The balance is 4,280. So let us write the balance 4280. Okay. And this is to be prepared as on 30th of June. It is not 31st of December here. It is 30th of June 2005. Okay. Sorry. Yeah, 2000. So let's make it here also to be changed. Okay, so we are ready with the statement. So the balance as per the cash book is 4,280. So it means we are starting with the cash book to find out the passbook balance, right? So let's see the first transaction. So comparison of the cash book and the passbook revealed the following. So these are the differences because of which, okay, the balance of the cash book is not matching with the balance of the passbook. So let us find out what is the actual balance at the bank by preparing a bank reconciliation statement. So the first one here is out of the total checks, okay, amounting to 12,500 and 60 sent to the bank for collection. Checks of rupees 7,000, 460 were credited in the passbook up to of June 2005. So the total checks which have been deposited in the bank is 12,560, but out of which only 7,460 has been credited up to 30th of June. That means, so in the cash book we have made an entry of 12,560, okay, whereas in the passbook the total amount being credited is only 7,460. Now which book is more according to this?
Cash book.
Cash book.
Cash book. So cash book is more and the passbook is less. But here you should see by how much the cash book is more with. Right? So here the difference is 5,100. That means the cash book is more by 5,100 whereas the passbook is less by 5,100. So because the passbook is less, we need to minus.
Less.
So checks deposited but not credited 5,100. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. Now coming to the next one. Out of the total checks amounting to 9,500, right? So here the checks have been issued, but out of which checks amounting to 9,250 were debited in the passbook up to 30th of June 2005. So when the checks are being issued, okay, we show the transaction onto the payments side. So 9,500 have been presented, issued here, but out of which in the bank, okay, have presented only 9,250. Now tell me which book balance is less?
Passbook is less. Passbook.
How much here I paid?
Cash book is
9,500.
cash
I
book
have
is
paid
zero.
9,500. Whereas from the bank, they have the withdrawal is only 9,250. See, both the amounts, just try to compare. So you
Cash
have
book
to
is
understand what
less.
will be the effect of this amount on the balance. So the cash book balance payment is
Yes.
more than the passbook payment, right? So the cash book balance will be less and the passbook balance will be more.
More. We should
So
add.
checks issued but not presented for payment will be 250 rupees. That is the difference amount.
Ma'am, explain it again, ma'am, please.
See, checks have been issued for 9,500 as on 30th of June 2005, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And in the passbook, there is a debit for only 9,250. That means they have presented only up to 9,250 as on this particular date. That means the remaining
Ma'am,
250
so
rupees have not been present. Yes.
it's decreasing in the passbook, na, ma'am, and increasing in the cash book.
Okay,
Cause
okay,
it's in
just a minute.
payment
I
side.
have a listen to me first. I have a deposit of some 10,000. Okay, this is my cash book balance. The balance in the cash book is 10,000, out of which I have issued 9,500. So what should be my balance here?
500, ma'am.
She's unable to answer. Okay, so the same deposit is
500,
also there in
ma'am.
the bank. Okay, so I have withdrawn only 9,250. So what should be my balance here?
500.
750.
750.
150. Now see which balance is more.
Passbook.
Passbook.
Passbook. So if the passbook is more, what you're going to do?
Add.
Add.
Add. That is what I have done here. Clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
So if you don't apply the logic, you will never get it. Okay. Next. Repair of building 2800 was paid by the bank as per the standing instructions of the proprietor. Now, as you have seen, like insurance premium paid by the bank as per the standing instructions of the customer. Like proprietor means here the owner of the business, right? So yeah, as he instructed the banker to pay towards the repairs of the building, that is 2800, the bank has already paid. So when bank has paid, the first entry will be given in the passbook. So 2800 has been debited in the passbook, but for which there is no entry made in the cash book. So what is going to have happen here? What will be the effect on the balances?
The passbook
First, it is
balance
being
will be less than the cash book.
yes, the passbook will be less than the cash book. So here the cash book is more and the passbook is less. So what you're going to do? We are going to
Add.
minus. We are going to minus. So here repairs to building. Repairs to building paid by bank. Paid by bank. So when the bank is paying, the balance at the bank is decreasing. So because of which here also we need to minus it. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Now the same thing. 220 was debited by the bank, okay, on account of the bank charges. So here bank charges has been debited in the passbook. So again, bank charges debited in the passbook. What happens to the balance at the bank?
Decrease and passbook is high.
Passbook is
High. Cheese. No, cash book is
No,
high and
passbook
passbook
is
is
low.
less.
don't get confused, children. See where I'm writing here. Passbook on the debit side I'm writing. So if I'm showing something on the debit side, what happens to the balance here? The balance decreases. The passbook will be less and the cash book here is more.
More.
And because you're finding out the passbook here, okay, we need to minus it. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Still many of you are, I think, not following. Okay, a check of rupees 4,000 received from a customer. So here the business has received a check from one of its customer and was recorded in the bank column of the cash book. Okay, the check is also been recorded in the cash book but was not deposited in the bank. So whenever immediately when you receive the check, we write it in the bank column, right? So you should assume that it is already been recorded in the bank column of the cash book, but it is still not been sent to the bank for the collection. So therefore, what is going to happen now? The entry is already been made in the cash book, but there is no entry in the passbook. So what is going to happen because of this?
Way less, ma'am.
Cash less. More and
Cash
less.
book
Less
is
because
More.
cash book
cash
is
book
More.
is more.
yeah, cash book is more and the passbook is less. So
Less.
checks received but not deposited. It is called as checks received. It's not checks deposited but checks received but not deposited. But not deposited. So for both the cases, the treatment is going to be the same. Right. So here the amount is 4,000. So cash book is more and the passbook is less, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next to the last one, I guess. Yeah, interest and dividends on investments, that is 1230, was directly paid in the bank. Interest and dividends on investments 1230 was directly paid in the bank. That means it is directly deposited in the bank. Paid in the bank in the sense what? The bank is receiving the interest and dividends. So when the bank receives the interest and dividends, on which side of the passbook it will be recorded?
Deposit.
Credit
Deposit.
side.
Deposit
Deposit
side.
Credit
side.
side,
So
deposit.
if you are making an entry onto the deposit side, what happens to the balance?
It
Increases.
increases
Increases.
fast.
So
Yes.
passbook is more and the cash book is
Less.
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 We should
Less.
so
add.
here you need
So we
to
will
add.
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 So interest and dividends collected by the bank. That's it. Interest and dividends. Dividends collected by the bank. The amount over here is 1230. So the total is 1480. Therefore 5760. Then coming to the total of the deductions, which is 12,120. Okay. Now here if you see, the additions are lesser than the deductions, right? So therefore
It becomes the unfavorable
opposite,
balance.
yeah, it becomes the opposite balance. So 12,120 minus 5,760, that is 6,360 will become the unfavorable balance, which is to be called as overdraft as per the
Overdraft.
passbook. Yeah. Okay. So this is how you have to give a presentation of your bank reconciliation statement. Yeah, got it. 6360. Clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, please show the table ma'am once again.
Yeah. Okay. I will share this.
Okay, ma'am.
I will share the questions and also the solutions.
Ma'am,
Okay.
can you share the PDF also, ma'am, of the question?
Yeah. I will share the PDF also. I will share the PDF also.
Okay, ma'am.
Yeah. Right. So, as we are already running with, 11:33, right? So, let me take the attendance.